guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have I Was Awake, and he can say his name and what he does in the band.
Hi, I'm Chris Harvey, and I am the lead vocalist.
Awesome. So my first question is, how did you start out what I Was Awake, and how did you get all of your members?
Well, we all kind of knew each other from back in the day. Like, the drummer and I've known probably since elementary school. He was like best friends with my brother, our original drummer, that is. We have a different drummer now, but and he had a couple guys he had been playing with who I knew just through other friends. Our bass player Kyle I knew through other bands and friends, and the two guitarists and our drummer at the time, Chris, started jamming together, and they were like, you know what, we need a singer, we need a bass player. So they reached out to Kyle and myself, and we met up and we dug it, and we just kept going, and here we are 6 years later.
Awesome. Was that all, I guess that was facilitated through other local bands that were playing at the time, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I was playing in a band that I sing and play guitar in called Autumn Above, which is also kind of similar to what we do. It's progressive rock, but it was all acoustic. Yeah, our drummer at the time, Chris, and Justin played in a band together called Fallow, and they were like alternative rock. Our bass player was playing in a band called Rohirrim, and they were metal, like progressive metal. And then Dan was playing in a blues band at the time. So we all knew of each other through, like I said, through friends and other bands. So it just kind of was like a culmination of things. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. I like when I hear about bands that get together that are kind of local and have, obviously seen each other play. That's always a good sign. But
oh yeah.
My next question is, since you're from Massachusetts, what are some favorite venues you guys like to play at or go see shows at?
Well, so we're just north of Boston, so we're about 30 minutes north, where we call Beverly our hometown. We're right next to Salem, so we've got some great venues up here. We play a venue in Beverly a lot called Spotlight Tavern, and they're just great for all things original music, cool stage, like great food, great beers, but like just the right amount of like diviness that it's like a fun rock show. So that we play there a lot. They're right down the street. Place in Salem called Kodo. They do a lot of it's kind of cool because they do drinks and Asian cuisine, but they do like punk shows and metal shows, and it's kind of cool. You can go in there any night of the week and see like any kind of music pretty much, but they also have like amazing food and drinks. So those are kind of our North Shore ones. And then when we go towards the city, we did our CD release about a year ago at this place in Alston called O'Brien's, which is really great. Down the street from there is a place called Great Scott, which is also cool. They're both smaller rooms, but good PAs, always like somewhat of a built-in crowd. Then there's also the Middle East upstairs and downstairs in Cambridge.
I've heard of that one.
Which a lot of bands come through there, a lot of national acts. There's a new club around the corner there called Sonia that we haven't got to play yet. It just opened a few months back. It used to be this place called TT the Bears.
Oh, really?
So we're hoping to get in there. Let me see, where else this place fairly new also in Somerville called Once Ballroom. Just a big lounge, and then a big room, and then upstairs they've got like a lounge where they do a lot of like Mexican food up there, and they'll do smaller shows upstairs.
That's sick.
Which the last few years actually they've hosted the Boston Rock and Roll Rumble, which has been going on for a long time. Used to be through WBCN. Trying to think of some other ones we've been at recently. That's really all I got off the top of my head. I'd love to get into a place like the Paradise. We haven't got to play there yet because it's a little bigger. All national acts coming through, so you gotta just talk to the right person and get on one of those bills. But
yeah, I totally get
some good places to play around here.
Yeah, because I've had some bands from Massachusetts, so I kind of have an idea of like where things are at. I'm not from Massachusetts, but I always ask this sort of question because I'm familiar. Like if I ever decide to go to like Massachusetts or whatever state, like maybe I might have a venue that I like, and I could go to and maybe see shows like if I'm there for the week or something. So
yeah, totally.
that's definitely something that I think about. But next question, man. What are some of your musical influences?
I mean, me personally, as like a vocalist, I kind of, it's funny. I've got like, probably will still always say like my favorite band is Pink Floyd, which is funny because you listen to our music and you probably would never really guess that. But I'll take pages, from things like Roger Waters would do with in terms of like lyrics. In terms of I kind of sing and perform. I mean, I I'm a big hair metal fan, so I like a lot of like bigger bands from the 80s and 90s. Like I love Skid Row and I love Guns N' Roses, and then I like some thrash stuff like Megadeth and
Oh, wow.
so all of that like lends itself a little in terms of like modern kind of more modern stuff. Like um, I always get compared like people like Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria, who I've always admired. Same with Anthony Green from Circus Survive, Cedric from the Mars Volta and At the Drive-In. I've always loved all those bands. So I'd say those are probably some of my biggest influences musically. As
Nice.
a band, I mean we've got some that are the same. Some of the guys, like I said, come from different backgrounds in terms of like alternative rock or like metal or blues, but we all have like some bands that we all listen to. Like we all love, the band Thrice, and we all love Tool. So we take pages from kind of those, and then we like stuff like Porcupine Tree. Deftones, definitely a big influence. Yeah, I'd say that's probably a pretty good list. I know I went for a little bit there. So
No. I definitely some of the bands that you mentioned, I could definitely pick out and be like, yeah, it kind of has that sort of like flair and flavor, especially like Cody and Cambria, like Thrice. I could definitely tell things of that nature, like bands that you collectively all like. I could definitely hear those sorts of influences. Like you said, I probably would have never guessed like Pink Floyd or like Guns N' Roses or anything like that. But it's definitely kind of cool because for me, like that's what I grew up with, like classic rock, all that sort of stuff. So to me, I like when bands kind of have that classic rock feel to them, but still have bands that are more modern, like Coheed, like Seosin, things of that nature. I definitely like
definitely.
when they combine the two and kind of make their own sound. But next question, Chris, kind of in relation to the last one, but what have been some bands that you've been jamming more recently?
Recently, let me think. I mean, there's been some good new stuff that's come out from bands and artists I haven't heard from in a while, so I've been kind
Okay.
of sticking to a lot of that. So the last couple of weeks, I like can't stop listening to the new Roger Waters album
Ooh,
because
okay.
I mean he hasn't put out a full length I think since like the mid '90s,
Yeah.
and I'm going to see him in September when he comes around. So I've been
Oh,
listening
awesome.
to his album "Is This the Life We Really Want" like on repeat pretty much. But been listening to also the new At the Drive-In. I
Oh,
think is
nice. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, it's just it's cool. It's reminiscent of their old stuff, but like you definitely see the progression of, hey, we did all these other bands in between. Like, so I've definitely been listening to those guys a lot. Stuff I always kind of go back to. We a lot of the guys in the band, me and the bass player Kyle and Sean, our drummer, we love this band called Oh Brother from Atlanta.
Yes. Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah, so we always end up going back to them. We'll put them on in the room sometimes, and so I always come back to them. Trying to think what else I've been listening to recently. Gosh, the new Radiohead. Well, new. It came out a while back, but
Yeah.
I didn't get. I was kind of late getting the album, so I've been listening to that a lot too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the variety. Oh brother, that was another band that was kind of like slipping my mind that has that sort of influence as well on you guys for sure. So I
Yeah.
can definitely hear that. They're a great band too. I think I found out about them through I don't know if they toured with like Thrice maybe. but I remember
They did tour thrice at one
yeah,
point.
so that was probably how I found out about them. But I was kind of like mad I didn't even listen to them prior to that, so because they're awesome. But
I know.
anyway, next question, Chris, is a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what song would it be?
Oh man, does that include stuff we might be working on or have been?
Sure, why don't we include that if you want to drop some details, you know?
Well, we're pretty excited. We've a couple things that we've done recently that we've been wanting to do for a while. Unfortunately, something else I've been listening to nonstop, obviously, is Chris Cornell was one of my favorite vocalists ever, and it's like such a shame that he's gone. But we had always talked about doing a Soundgarden cover, like always, right?
Okay.
We never pick on a song, and then. When he passed, and we were like, man, we've got a show coming up. I want to do a song, and the guys would just like immediately. It was like we all almost said it at once. We're like, Mailman. We're covering Mailman. So we did that at our show this past Friday,
awesome.
and it was super fun, super fun. So we did that. We're going to be playing that one live for probably the next couple of shows. We might record it too. But something I'm really excited about covering that we've talked about for years in this band is. We're actually going to be doing Pigs, 3 different ones by Pink Floyd, but we're going to make it our own. And, it's that song, it lends itself to be a heavy song. It's like you listen to it, and aside from like just the angry political commentary that Roger always uses on everything, just the riffs, you can hear them. You're like, man, this riff, like if you like did like an inversion of this chord or like, just add a little more distortion, like it's going to get pretty ugly. So we're starting to work on that too, and we are going to be recording that one for one of our next releases. So
that's awesome. I can't wait. I definitely like Soundgarden, obviously, and just like all of his other side projects and bands that he's done. Chris Cornell is like one of my favorites as well. But as well as I'm super stoked for the Pink Floyd, because that's something that I grew up with as well, so I can definitely get down with some Pink Floyd without a doubt. But next question, Chris, favorite food to eat?
Oh, let me see. We're Boston guys. We're north of Boston guys. I don't know if you've ever been up here and had a roast beef sandwich.
I'm trying to think if I've had one or not. I've been to Boston, but it's been a while, so probably not. But
you would know, because the way that roast beef sandwiches are done on the North Shore is like nowhere else in the world. It's like you think of like a roast beef, like, and you go to any other state, it's just like cold roast beef on like a roll or something. And up here, it's like finely shredded. It's warm. They add barbecue sauce, cheese. Some people throw in the mayonnaise for the beef three-way. You'd be so bold to add pickles, as I like to do. So, I mean, roast beef sandwiches are always a go-to for me. And we have a place right across from our jam space that has them. So
there you go. It's like the perfect culmination of things. I know how it is. It's kind of like for us, or like for the area I live in, New Jersey, like everybody says, like, cheesesteaks are like the thing. So I totally know about like being synonymous for something. So, but anyway, next question, Chris. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, who would it be?
Oh man, I'd have to say, I'd love to do something with Chino Moreno.
Oh yeah.
Like it would be so cool. Like I've heard him do some stuff on other songs where he's, like the guest vocalist, but like it would be so cool to do like a dual vocal song with like harmonies and stuff like that, and like whether it was like acoustic or hard, like that dude's voice can like, you can hear it on anything pretty much, I feel like. And he's another one of my big influences, and I met him once, like I went to a Crosses show.
Oh, nice.
And it was awesome. My friend is buddies, like old buddies with the bass player Chuck from Crosses.
Sick. Awesome.
Yeah, so afterwards we got to hang with them, and like, I didn't talk to him much, but said our hellos, and then we were all just jamming out and like drinking beer and whatever. But just seems like such a laid back guy, and would be really fun to work with. And I love him as an artist. So probably Chino would probably be at one of the tops on my list there.
Awesome. Yeah, because I just heard, I forget, I think it might have been my friend Anthony. I saw him like pretty recently, and he was talking about he did a song with Anthony Green like on his like last solo record where they like, I guess they did like harmonies and stuff together, but like their voices just mesh so well together. So like for me, I would love to hear him like collaborate more. I know that that's sort of a he's definitely a bigger band, so it would be restraining in terms of time. But I mean, I would love to hear like more things with his voice.
Oh yeah, total pipe dream kind of thing, but
but it'd definitely be awesome. So, Chino, if you happen to be watching this, maybe by chance, definitely go hit Chris up. But next question, Chris, if you could play another musical instrument besides the one you play now, obviously do vocals, what would it be and why?
I've always wanted to play piano.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of I know my way around. Like I know the notes, so I've played things like on our records. But it's like, oh, this thing that you can do, and you do this part, and then maybe like do it again, but the octave down because your fingers can't do that at the same time. Like I've done that, but to be able to actually play and do like maybe like a solo piece myself, like be able to sing and play really well. I always have wished I learned more of that, and maybe someday I will.
I know the feeling. Like for me, like the complete opposite for me is I play guitar like in my spare time, but like I could never play drums. I don't have like the arm and leg like.
I can't do that either, man.
It's so bad.
I hear you.
So like for me, I would love to learn how to like manage my feet and like my legs at the same time, and that would be awesome. So maybe drums might be in the future just because it's like complete opposite of like guitar and stuff like that. So but yeah, definitely I definitely get you on the whole like piano thing too. That would be awesome as well. But my next question is, if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Oh man, I don't know if that's the question for me. You're probably gonna get mad. I don't even play video games.
Oh man, dude. I don't know. You see,
some of my bandmates do, but I.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody I know like from a video game. I mean, it'd be cool to be Sonic because he can run real fucking fast. I just know like the couple I've played from when I was younger.
That's fine. That's no problem. I thought I would just ask. I mean, like, typically I ask because, like, some people are like, yeah, like a hardcore video gamer, or, like, some people are like, I mean, I, like, dabble, so, I mean, it's kind of like a hit or
miss. A lot of my
question.
bandmates, a lot of my bandmates are big into it, and a lot of my friends are, and it's funny, they'll get together to, like, play, or, like, we'll be, like, hanging out and, like, watching something on TV, and they're like, hey, let's play this game, and I'll be like, okay, I'll just sit here and drink a beer, I guess.
Oh man, that's great. I wouldn't even know how that feels because like that's oh man, that's rough. That's definitely rough.
Yeah.
Next question, Chris. In your opinion, who puts on a great live show and a favorite show that you've been to?
Oh gosh. Who did I see recently? I've been to a bunch of shows recently. Last summer I went and saw Guns N' Roses, and that was unbelievable.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that was at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and that was unbelievable. The only concert I've seen that top that was when Roger Waters did The Wall, like when he first started doing The Wall. In recent years, like not the second tour he did, but the first one like 5 years ago or something. I was at some other recent ones I saw. I saw Thrice when they came around. That was incredible.
Thrice, yeah.
Circa did their On Land and Go tour. That was amazing. I'm always a big fan of seeing. We're from Beverly, so we know the Caspian guys a little bit, and they're just they're unbelievable. Just live, just especially in the last couple of years because they really added another element with some of the stuff they've been doing with their light show. But just so much energy, and just like loud as hell, just so loud. I mean, they're very dynamic, but when they get loud, it's like you better be wearing your earplugs. So those are definitely some recent ones we've seen that have been just amazing, and I'm always just floored with people that can sound like their records, like, but not like to the point where you're like, oh, I might as well sit home and listen to the record.
Yeah.
You know, it's like something we always aspire to do in our band, and we try to kind of do that. It's tough, but yeah, it's always cool. And I'm psyched to see in a few weeks. I'm seeing Maiden's coming around, so we're seeing Iron Maiden in a couple weeks, and I'm going to see, actually tomorrow I'm going to go up to New Hampshire to see Killswitch Engage.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
Which will be fun. I've never seen those guys live, so I'm pretty stoked on that one too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know about that.
I've seen them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know
definitely.
about that. That one's I've been meaning to catch them, but I don't know, just things just don't always pan out. The Circle one,
same.
Circle one I wanted to go to, but they're like Philly natives pretty much at that point. So like both shows sold out in like not even like 5 minutes, if that. So like I wanted to get tickets, but it was just like too late. So that was rough, because that's like one of my favorite Circle records. And then I'm trying to think what else. The Thrice one I saw. Trying to think what else. There was another one that I was gonna mention. Oh, Caspian. I did see Caspian with Under Oath on their last tour where they did the 2 albums.
Nice.
They were like phenomenal. Like I don't think I've ever seen, like, they had like, when I went in, when I was watching them, they had like 2 drum sets, and they were like both playing, and like there was no, like, it just sounded like an orchestra. It was kind of insane. So I definitely like to see them again whenever I get the chance to, because they seem like they put on an awesome show for sure. Yeah,
they're always just like over the top, like in terms of every time I see them, they just like bring in another level, and we really admire what they do, and they're super nice guys, but yeah, their live show just like, oh my god, it just blows you away. You're standing there for a second and you're just like mesmerized, just like zoning out, because you're hearing like the most pretty guitars you ever heard, and then all of a sudden like you get kicked in the face and you're like, oh my god, it's good stuff.
I totally agree with you. That's how I felt as well. So anyway, next question, Chris. If you could compile a dream tour, who'd be on it?
Oh man, I'd love to see something like, I was bummed that Tool was just recently in Boston.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see that because they were at Boston Calling, and it was like a festival, and tickets were kind of a lot of money and everything. But I'd love to see something like a kind of bigger prog thing with like Tool. I'd love to see like a Porcupine Tree reunion on that.
Ooh, okay.
I know he'd be doing double duty, but a Perfect Circle. Yeah, then maybe throw in Coheed to the mix. I'd love to see a Mars Volta reunion on that. Just like a kind of interesting prog bill like that, but I'm just being selfish because I'm listing all my favorite bands. But something like that I think would be really, really cool, and quite the production to see too, like in terms of stage sets and sound. And I'm a geek for that. I dabble in audio engineering and live sound, so I always love when I see a good show that looks and sounds good. So I can imagine that would be amazing to see and hear. Yeah,
that would be quite an insane like show or like tour or whatever. That would be like kind of like every big name kind of band that you can think of is like on that. So that would be
yeah,
without a doubt. But anyway, next question.
Oh, definitely.
Next question, Chris. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite TV show, unfortunately not on anymore, but I was a huge Dexter fan.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. When Dexter was on, I think they were like, 3 or 4 seasons in? Something like that. I think it was 3 seasons in, and that's when we became a band. And the first song I wrote about Dexter. The first song we wrote was called Plastic Wrap and Tape, and it was all about Dexter, because I was such a fanboy. And and it's a heavy subject to write about. So So Dexter is definitely my favorite TV show. Favorite movie? I'm probably gonna have to say The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yes, yes. I like
It's just I can watch it over and over again and I never get sick of it. It's always just as funny every time I watch it.
I agree. Yeah, that's quite a funny movie, so I totally agree with you. But next question, Chris, if you could only listen to one album for a month straight, what album would it be?
Um, Let me see. Trying to think of something that's. I'd probably go back to a Pink Floyd album, because it's, I don't know, it just, you always find something different to focus on when you're listening, whether it's guitars or rhythms or keyboards or the vocals. I'd probably choose. It's kind of tough because I like all their albums so much, but I'm trying to think of, like, if it was a month long and I had to listen to something over and over again. I couldn't do The Wall because it would just make me too depressed, I think. So maybe something like, obviously, like Dark Side or
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wish
Yeah.
You Were Here or Animals. One of those three. I'd probably just go to Dark Side. But I don't know. Animals is right up there. Wish You Were Here too. It's tough. So one of those three for sure.
Nice, nice. I like that. And lastly, tell them about your band, where they can find you at, of course, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
Yeah, so once again, the band's called I Was Awake. We're from Boston. All our music is on iwasawake.bandcamp.com. Our full-length album came out almost a year ago. It's called Facade. We're super excited about doing more for that. We just put out a music video for one of those songs this past week called The End, which you can catch if you go to our Facebook. It's up there right now. It'll be on our YouTube channel as well. Right now it's just on the production house's YouTube because we were giving it a little time there first before we moved over to ours. But so we're doing that. We're going to be playing a bunch more shows here, maybe some road dates outside of the Boston area, and going to be working on some new singles. Probably going to be hearing those in the fall.
Nice, nice. So, first of all, I'd like to thank the Hemi because they're the one who, obviously made this happen. And
aren't they great? Yeah.
Mark's the man. Hemi's really awesome. I can't thank him enough because they always come up with some great bands, and I think it makes always great connections as well too. So for me,
Definitely.
that's what I like go off of, and it makes me meet cool people like yourself. So I always enjoy that. But definitely check out Chris's band. I will leave all the links in the description. There should be a sub thing at the end of this video as well, so definitely go subscribe to his YouTube channel so you guys can keep up with the latest things that they're doing. And definitely check out the new music video that he posted. I definitely checked it out. I liked it a lot, so obviously he's on, so I would enjoy it. But definitely go check out their band, all their music. Go check out his album on Bandcamp. And thank you, Chris, for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.